Perhaps he should have thought this through a bit more. He groaned quietly and crumbled yet another paper, tossing it to the already high pile of other unsatisfying designs he scrapped earlier. Why is this so difficult? Creating a personalized engagement ring sounded great at the beginning, but apparently ring designs weren't his strong suit. He was an apparel designer. He knew nothing about metals and gems. Why was he doing this to himself? And on top of that, he had no idea what kind of jewelry Noya liked. He usually only wore the leather bracelets he got on his journeys, and Asahi couldn't recall they ever talked about more shiny pieces. And then there was the thing with Noya's traveling. It wasn't safe to wear expensive-looking jewelry on the way, and knowing Noya, he would for sure be against taking the ring off. If he wants one, that is. He bit his lip, his eyes straying to the pile of paper balls. It wasn't like he had to be worried about rejection if he popped the question. Noya was never particularly quiet about his wish to marry him, but that didn't mean he would want a ring, and Asahi didn't want to see a forced smile on his boyfriend's face. He didn't even know which stone would fit Noya the best, or which one would he want. He could ask, of course, but that would defeat the purpose. Sighing deeply, he grabbed another paper and did a quick sketch of the design he was trying to put together for the last 3 hours. Maybe I should wait a bit longer with this. We aren't racing anywhere, right? Or should we just get some plain bands and call it a day? It's the thought and intention that counts, right? And it would be much safer to carry around too, instead of some intricate... Asahi, I'm home! The door slammed and Asahi jumped, his heartbeat speeding up with shock. He quickly hid the rejected designs and opened the sketch block on a different page. Haikyuu, how was the meeting? In the next second, Noya barged into the living room like the ball of energy he was, and immediately draped himself over Asahi's shoulders, peppering his cheek with kisses. Asahi chuckled, goosebumps appearing on his arms. Stop, it tickles. Noya whined quietly, but listened, and instead laid his head on Asahi's shoulder, tightening his embrace a bit. It was great. You should have come too. I'm sure you would have fun. With his chest tightening, Asahi reached up to ruffle Noya's unruly hair. Noya had been inviting him to the meetings he had with his travel friends for the last few months, but he always politely refused. Maybe another time? You say that every time. In the end, I'll start thinking you don't want to spend time with me. That's not the case. But why would you even want me there? They would just wonder why do you have such a boring boyfriend. What? That's not true. Why would you say that? Sighing, Asahi instinctively leaned a bit more into Noya, as if subconsciously looking for something soothing. He would love to be a good company to the surely energetic group, but the truth was, he just wasn't like that. Noya was perhaps the only exception in the world who would voluntarily keep him around despite their opposite personalities. It's fine, dear. I'm happy you had a fun afternoon with friends. You don't need me for that. Did you plan some new trips together? He more felt than saw Noya frown, before the shorter man jumped over the back of the couch with an elegance of a gazelle to kneel beside him. Don't change the subject. Why would you say something like that about yourself? Did someone say anything to you again? I'll personally tag them if yes. Just tell me the names. No, it's not like that. You are also adventurous, traveling the world and all, and I'm just sitting here and drawing pictures. What would we talk about? I doubt you are interested in the newest spring collection. Humming, Noya seated a bit more comfortably, but still kept close to Asahi's side. Well, I mean, we might not be able to fully appreciate your genius designs, but that doesn't mean you are boring. And honestly, if they ever say something like that about you, they won't be my friends anymore. Asahi's heart swelled, the tightness building in his chest easing up. He didn't realize how much he needed to hear that, and now had trouble containing his emotions. Asahi? Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Please don't be sad. I'll never force you to come with me, I promise. We can... The rest of the sentence turned into stutter when Asahi pulled him into an embrace, hiding his face in the crook of Noya's neck. I'm fine. I'm just real happy that I have you, you know? Noya grinned at that and returned the hug, running his fingers through Asahi's hair. Aw, you are still the same, dear. Always the gentle giant with the softest heart. Asahi chuckled before he remembered the challenge he was supposed to do. He pulled away a bit and kissed Noya's forehead. Oh, by the way, I'll probably sleep on the couch tonight. Are you working late again? That's not healthy. I know. I just need to finish this. Noya huffed, but then his face shifted into determined as he shrugged and nested himself comfortably to Asahi's side, reaching for the TV remote. Okay, I wanted to catch up on that new travel show anyway. Huh? If you sleep on the couch, I sleep on the couch. At least I can make sure you aren't overworking yourself. Asahi stared at him for a moment before shaking his head in a loving exasperation. Alright then, but don't complain about backache tomorrow. No worries, I'm used to that. Besides, you are the best pillow ever. Now, wanna show me what you are designing? A fond smile tucked in the corner of Asahi's mouth, the troubles with the ring forgotten for now. Seeing Aone working had always been a highlight of Kenji's day, no matter what the work was. To his credit, he always managed to stay in line with his thoughts, even in those moments. However, as he now watched his boyfriend carry a box full of flowers and soil for their garden, muscles flexing under his t-shirt, he wasn't sure if he could get home without combusting that day. Are you really going to carry everything yourself? Give me something, I'll help you with it. Aone gave him a soft smile but shook his head, repositioning the box in his hands a bit. No need, it's not that heavy. I know it's not for you, but I feel bad you are dragging everything yourself. If this is still about my knee... Aone averted his gaze, but Kenji didn't miss the way his fingers tightened on the box. He sighed. Despite feeling better than ever, it seemed like Aone couldn't get rid of his worries. Even though Kenji already went back to work, though temporarily on much easier conditions as agreed on with his boss, Aone didn't allow him to do anything too physically difficult or carry things he deemed heavy. Which was a lot of things. It's been almost half a year, Nobu. I'm fine. Even the doctors say so. I promised I would tell you if it hurts, didn't I? I know, but the last time you carried something heavy... He fell silent abruptly, but Kenji understood. He also had the incident in vivid memory, but he didn't really think about how it must have looked from Aone's perspective. His chest constricted. Oh Nobu, are you still blaming yourself for that? Aone clenched his jaw. If I carried the books down myself, it wouldn't happen. You can't know that. Besides, I should have looked where I was going. He stopped in front of Aona and cupped his face. It's in the past, okay? I'm fine now. I know you are worried, and I'm grateful you care about me so much, but I can do things by myself again. Except kneeling down, but that's beside the point. He held Aona's gaze for a long while, gently caressing his cheeks with his thumbs, waiting for his boyfriend to fully take in his words. Alright, I will work on that. That's what I like to hear. But I'm carrying this myself. Kenji rolled his eyes but didn't protest further and fell in step beside his boyfriend. There was no point in arguing with him when he set his mind onto something. They soon reached the registers, and Kenji huffed upon seeing the long queue. What are all these people doing here? It's work day. Shouldn't they be working? It's Friday. Grumbling under his breath, Kenji crossed his arms over his chest. He ignored the gentle warning look Aona gave him, and instead ventured into the closest greenhouse to kill some time. He wasn't looking for anything in particular, yet he still couldn't resist taking 2 more flower pots for their patio. He was just about to head back when he paused, spotting Aona talking to some woman who came into the queue after them. She was smiling, twirling her hair and standing awfully close to Aona, who started to look a bit flustered. Frowning, Kenji marched to the two. Oh, I bet you could lift all those soil bags I have like nothing with those muscles, am I right? I have to take a trolley, but you are strong. She batted her eyelashes, and Kenji growled quietly, slamming the flowers on the counter and successfully startling both of them. Can we help you? Oh, I was just saying this fine gentleman here could... This fine gentleman certainly couldn't. We are already running late, right dear? Aona blushed a bit more but nodded. Kenji smiled humorlessly. Now please excuse us. He helped Aona put everything through the register, ostentatiously ignoring the woman's glare burning through the back of his head. Aona kept giving him various side glances, but he wasn't planning on doing anything else despite the fact he was fuming. He didn't say a word the whole way back home and managed to stay pouty until evening. He wasn't even sure what pissed him off so much about the encounter. Perhaps the woman's sheer audacity. Or the fact Aona didn't say anything against it when she obviously flirted with him. Kenji? He startled but didn't turn around. You've been quiet the whole afternoon. Kenji almost laughed. I'm thinking. Is it about the woman earlier? Clenching his jaw, Kenji pushed around Aona into the living room, avoiding his gaze. No. Liar. Are you angry? Yes, he was. Very. He flopped on the couch and crossed his arms over his chest. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Short pause followed his words. No, you are not. Yes, I am, and you can't stop me. A mere second later, he yelped when he got scooped up bridal style. He instinctively wrapped his arms around Aona's neck, narrowing his eyes at him. What do you think you are doing? It's bad for your back. You're sleeping in bed. No protests. Kenji opened his mouth to protest, but then just grumbled under his breath, feeling heat creeping into his face as Aona effortlessly carried him upstairs. This isn't fair. Why can't you let me be angry at you even for a minute? Are you jealous? No. Kenji. Okay, fine, I am, I guess. But like, she flirted with you right in front of me and you didn't do anything about it. Of course I'm jealous. A gentle kiss locked his next words away. I'm sorry I made you angry. You know you are the only one for me, right? Kenji tightened his embrace, hiding his reddening face in the crook of Auna's neck. I know. For now. Can we go to sleep early? I'm tired. Auna hummed and carefully laid him on the bed, squeezing his hand. Sure. Should I run you a bath? Sounds good. Damn this all. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. He stopped himself from cursing more, fully aware of the woman with a little kid standing behind him. In his mind, however, he cursed worse than a sailor. Of course, it had to start pouring just when he was about to go home. Ropes of water fell from the sky, soaking anyone stupid enough to venture out without an umbrella. And of course, he loved his own home. Because why would he take it? It was supposed to be sunny. Yeah, right. Goddamn stupid weather forecasts! Why am I even listening to it? He could be using a crystal ball with the same success rate. He sighed when he realized that no matter how fast he ran, he would get drenched either way. Welp, it's not like I'm made of sugar. Taking a deep breath, he rushed out of the cover, sprinting as fast as he could towards the bus stop, only careful not to twist his ankle or slip. Panting and shivering in the wet clothes, he hid under the tiny roof of the bus stop, unable to not laugh at himself. Ready for dryer? He slumped on the bench, trying to squeeze as much water from his clothes as possible before getting on the bus. Fortunately, their stop wasn't far from their flat, though Maki was sure it didn't matter that day. He was going to get soaked again before reaching the door, that was for certain. He ran towards the building, not really sprinting anymore since that wouldn't help anyway, and he was too tired to push himself. Besides, he was about to drop the wet clothing in just a few minutes. He sighed in relief when he finally entered their pleasantly warm flat. He was still shivering, but at least he could go change now. Hiro? Yeah, can you please find me some dry clothes? I need a shower. Did you get soaked? What do you think? I hope you didn't use up all hot water. Matsun peeked out from the kitchen, measuring him for a while before amused wrinkles appeared around his eyes, as if he had to try a lot not to laugh. You look like a drowned rat. Maki huffed, offended by the implication, and quickly got rid of the wet pants and shirt. Are you going to just stand there, or will you help me when you took the car today and let me get soaked? But if I didn't take the car, I would be the one drenched. And you would laugh at me too. Instead of an answer, Maki threw the wet shirt at Matsun's head, relishing the wet splat it made. I'm not heartless like you to laugh at my boyfriend's misery. I'm getting a shower and I'll sleep on the couch tonight. Or, you know what? No, you sleep on the couch because you are the bully here, so I deserve the bed. He closed the bathroom door behind him, rolling his eyes when he heard Matsun snicker. Stupid, they say. We will see who gets the last laugh when I really leave you to sleep on the couch. They both knew he would feel too bad to actually do it and ran the risk of leaving Matsun to the mercy of the nightmares, but it was a nice image. He let the warm water chase the cold out of his muscles and wash away the stress from the whole day of dealing with dumb people, finding a pile of dry and warm clothes folded next to the sink when he exited. A content sigh escaped his mouth as he dressed up. You are lucky you warmed the clothes up. I might actually forgive you. Smiling, Matsun shifted a bit from the leisure position he was lying in and opened his arms for Maki to snuggle into, which Maki gladly accepted. Only the best for my boyfriend. Don't you think you will get away through flattery? I'm still mad at you. Would a nice dinner and a massage bring me back into your good grades? I'll think about it. What's for dinner? Before Matsun could answer, a loud sneeze echoed through the room, startling both of them. Maki yelped as the couch disappeared from under him, and then coughed when he hit the floor. You okay? Yeah. He sat up, disgruntled, only to find Matsun covering his mouth to stifle a laugh. He narrowed his eyes at him. Not a word! He sneezed again, and Matsun snorted, unable to hold the laugh back anymore. Sorry, it's just... I've never seen this actually happen. Very funny. Smiling, Matsun pulled him back up into his arms, kissing the pout off of his lips. It is when I know you didn't hurt yourself. How about I make you soup? And then I'll take care of you so you don't get too sick. Fine, but it better be a damn good soup. Another kiss landed on the crown of his head. I told you, only the best for my boyfriend. Not that I don't trust you, but are you sure you know what you are doing? Kindaichi huffed and turned his focus back to the kitchen scale in front of him, slowly adding flour into the bowl. Of course I do. If I go exactly by the recipe, it can't go wrong. At least he hoped so. He bit his lip, keeping an eye on the numbers to get the exact amount of all ingredients. This was important, and he couldn't mess up just because he couldn't measure properly. It wasn't that long since he read an article saying young couples often drift apart when the excitement wears off, and they forget to do things together. And being the ball of nerves since they announced their engagement to his family, he was determined to do everything in his power to prevent it from happening to them. One panicked call to his mom later, he came up with baking a cake together. He had baked only sporadically before, but for the greater good of their relationship, he had to try. It took him a lot of convincing to talk Kunime into taking part in the bonding baking together, though now his fiancé looked like he was questioning a lot of his life choices. To say it made Kindaichi even more nervous would be an understatement. Maybe you should ask your mom to be on the phone with you. You know, helping you, just in case. Kindaichi clenched his jaw, stubbornly staring into the bowl as he mixed its contents. It's supposed to be our teamwork. It would lose its meaning if I had mom on the phone. Making a grimace, Kunimi leaned on the counter and continued to watch Kindaichi's every move, which just made him more nervous. What? Nothing. I just don't want to get food poisoning. Do you believe me that little? In the kitchen? Yes. Kindaichi's heart sank. The truth was, Kunimi was the one who usually cooked for them. Kindaichi was grateful for that since Kunimi's cooking was delicious, but he could also make a thing or two. He wasn't a lost cause, right? Right? Maybe I should have let Aki do the actual baking. He looks so bored now. He shooed the thought away and poured the mix into the form. This was his idea, and he was going to stick with it to the end. Even though Kunimi was pretty much just an onlooker the whole time without contributing much. It will be fine. It's just a cake, and I followed the recipe. What could go wrong? Turns out, a lot. They stared at the sunken, very rubbery feeling supposed to be cake, neither of them speaking for the longest while. It's not looking very tasty, is it? He poked the center of the cake. Or edible? Desperate and panicking, Kindaichi clenched his hands on the back of the chair so hard his knuckles turned white. He gave his everything into this thing, and it was still a complete disaster. Maybe it can be salvaged somehow? How would you want to salvage this? You can't just cut it out. Maybe moisture it with something? Or let it soften with the cream? Kunimi sighed. You do understand there is a mistake in the batter, right? You can't make miraculously appear the bubbles. He poked the cake again. I guess it can be edible in the end, but it won't taste good, that's for sure. So it was all for nothing? He wasn't sure if he wanted to shout or cry, and Kunimi's comments and disinterest didn't help. I told you to call your mom. Kindaichi gritted his teeth and pushed himself away from the chair. Well, sorry for wanting to make something together. You could also be helping instead of just commenting, you know. It was supposed to be a teamwork, strengthening our relationship and all that. Guess that's not really your thing. Are you going to treat our relationship like this too? Complain while doing nothing? Kunimi recoiled a bit, visibly confused. What are you talking about? It's just a cake, not our relationship. Why would you... Kindaichi didn't listen to the rest and headed straight to their bedroom. Forget it. I'm taking the couch for tonight. It was supposed to be just a challenge, but now it didn't sound like a bad idea. He grabbed his pillow and a spare blanket, almost colliding with Kunimi, who followed behind him and looked even more confused than before. Wait, please explain. I don't understand. Why would we need to strengthen our relationship? I thought we were fine. Yeah, I thought so too. Please tell me what's wrong. I'm sorry if I did something that made you upset. I didn't mean to hurt you. Averting his gaze, Kindaichi clutched the pillow closer to his chest. I wanted us to do something you enjoy together, but you just looked bored the whole time and then commented on everything being wrong when you didn't do anything. If you want to tell me I'm useless, you can do it directly and not through a failed cake. Smaller hands gripped his biceps. You stop, please. I don't think anything like that about you. I'm sorry I didn't take part. I swear I would put much more effort into it if I knew how important it was for you. We can try this again. It's nothing horrible. I promise I'll take part this time. Just put that pillow back. Please. I don't want you to sleep away. Just because you can't sleep when I'm not here. No, because I don't want you to be angry with me and have a backache tomorrow. I would steal your pillow if I couldn't sleep. Kindaichi huffed, unsure if he should feel hurt or not. Good to know I can be replaced by a pillow. That's not what I meant. He cupped Kindaichi's face, making him look into his eyes. A new wave of anger rose in Kindaichi's chest. this time aimed at himself for obviously distressing Kunimi again. He pulled away and slumped on the edge of the bed, putting the pillow and blanket aside for now. I'm sorry. I shouldn't let my frustration out on you when it's not your fault. He felt Kunimi sit next to him, the familiar presence calming him down and freaking him out at the same time. It is my fault. I should have known you didn't want to start baking together just like that. I just don't want us to drift apart. He chuckled humorlessly. And I managed the exact opposite. Please tell me what's wrong. Why would we drift apart? We are engaged, planning a wedding. That's as far from drifting apart as it can be. But what if it changes after we get married? They always say the excitement runs out quickly after the wedding. I don't want that to happen to us. Kunimi stared at him for a moment before he smiled softly and leaned in for a kiss. Honey, we've been together for years. If we didn't grow tired of each other until now, I doubt marriage would change anything about it. But do you know what they also say? If you think too much about something, you'll bring it upon yourself. So stop worrying about it. He connected their lips again. I love you. Nothing changed on that. Sighing, Kindachi leaned his forehead against Kunimi's, hugging him a bit clumsily given their position. I love you too. Can we cuddle for a while? Please. Sure, but only if you promise me you'll sleep in our bed tonight. And all the nights after that. I promise.